Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you again for taking us back here for another week. As you can tell, my usual co-host Oz is currently driving and taking his way all the way to Northern Ireland, so he will not be with us this week. But this week we are graced with the presence of Matteo. Hi, Matteo.
Yes, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Do you want to give yourself? Do you want to give the people a bit of introduction to yourself?
Yeah, I'm. God, I do some of the artwork for Sportank. I play online for Lancashire Buccaneers. I was at Chester Romans, a few other clubs last year. It's always the last year, isn't it? But that's me. Been looking forward to doing this all day. Came prepared with all my notes. But no, yeah, absolutely looking forward to it.
Perfect. And Matteo looks he's doing a lot more work than Oz usually does. So I mean, nice to have a bit of combativeness. But no, welcome to the show. And this week, I will say that we've had, as pundits, we've kind of had a very, very shit week in our predictions. It doesn't look very well, but we'll start off with week 7 and we'll go down to Division 2 West, where we had Swindon Storm 16, Plymouth Vanguard 0.
I picked Plymouth because of Oz.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I picked Plymouth was because of Oz. And looking at it, you know, before the game it was a tight thing, but Plymouth, Swindon did the job.
Yeah, Swindon came in. It looks like they're not done for the season at all, even though it's still early. But I think 3 of us picked Vanguard. Chris, Sean, and Nana all picked Storm for this game. So it's always very interesting. Hello, Coach Russ, Adam, Joe, Martin. How are you all doing this weekend?
I was got a bit of a different
accent. Next up, we actually have a big shocker, but also a game that had a very high scoring outcome. So we had in Division 2 West, that same division, we had Cornwall Monarchs 43, Hereford Stampede 34. Every single one of us picked the Stampede to win this game.
Yeah, Cornwall at home just absolutely killed it.
But where did this come from? Because I didn't expect it.
There's been a few teams this year who've been pushed into a corner and they've delivered. You know, they've had to dig in deep, and that tests character of a team. But it sounds like both defenses had a shocker, 43-34. But if you look at that league table, you know, because obviously the playoffs are a bit mad this year. Your top 2 go through. I've got the league table here. You know, second place is still up for grabs. I mean, even first place is up for grabs because, you know, every team's lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Swindon have lost. You know, Swindon have played more. So if Cornwall win them 2 games in hand, they're then joint top. So it's a very, very open league.
It's very up and down, and the issue is whoever comes from that division, there's gonna be a lot of traveling for whoever they're playing against anyway. So it doesn't really either way. It's a pain to be a part of. But Cornwall, you lot stood up tall. You lot decided to show that, you know, Plymouth ain't the only team in that region of the country. And I've got to give you a lot of credit for that. Got to give you a lot of credit for that, because I don't think anyone had a doubt that you lot were going to win this game. But we'll move on, and we'll move on to the Devils versus the Saints in Division 2 East. Everybody picked the Saint to win this game, and we were royally shut up by the Devils. I actually don't have the score. I believe the score was what 16 to. Was it 16-0?
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't on the Baffle website this morning. It's the only score
Yeah.
that's not on there.
Let
So I was
me.
relying on you for that information. So thank you. I mean, again, if you look at that league, Saints were top 3-0. So we were right. We weren't right, but we
Yeah.
were always going to assume that result. So
See,
again, it's coming up that halfway point of the season. A lot can change. People think it's just going to crack on like it is.
I just
Yeah.
because so this game actually ended 16-13. I wasn't wrong on one side, just couldn't figure out what it was on the Saints side, but they got 13 points. It was a field goal that kept this that looked like it was a hell of a game, but also very defensively. Now the question is, was it actually bad offense, good defense? What was the reason for it? Obviously, we can't have there's no stream, so we can't tell. But the Devils aren't actually out of staying up. Well, they can't go any further, but they got a chance to get promoted if they
win the games.
Yeah, because what they're the Saints' first loss for the season as well.
Yeah, it opens up a can of worms, that one, because momentum is quite a lot in this sport, and if Norwich can jump on that on the next few games, I mean, who's to say we can't turn that season around? That's a brilliant result. Spot on.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how this goes, but none of us picked the Saints, so we are currently some of us are 1-4, and some of us are 0-4. We've got not one right yet, which I'm very shocked. But luckily, there's always one team that we can always count on. Always count on to get the win, thank God. In Division 2 North, we had Darlington Steam 0, Humber Warhawk 36. And every single one of us picked this to be correct. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, Humber look like they're doing the business in that league. Is it Doncaster Mustangs
Doncaster Mustangs just.
You don't want to see that. I think they played. I want to say it was them who played Lee Miners in the pre-season game. You don't want to see any team fold. But that looks like that's their league to be won. But it's second place. Who's going to go for that because with the whole new playoff.
It's a tight, yeah. See, it's horrible. You never want to see a team fold, but it also does come down to looking at it and being realistic on what your team can actually accomplish within the season. If you lose a couple players, are you going to be able to survive? Are you going to be able to have players to come in and play? Because no one wants to play this game and play Iron Man football. That's not what you come in to enjoy and play this game.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to lose players every season. There's always going to be players getting injured. The one that pisses on. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear in it.
That's all right.
Brilliant. Okay, the one that does my fucking head in is like players leaving. As soon as they've got beat. We had a game this season and we won. We were kind of finding our step in the game, and then I'm seeing that the team that we beat, a player left straight away, and you're just like, I don't get that. But no, hopefully, yeah, that'll be an interesting league. That just because there's Wakefield, Darlington, and the other team. They've all got a chance for second there. So let's see.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it is what it is, and we've got to move on. But we all picked that one correctly, so hopefully they can do that. Next up, we go up to Division 1 West. It is South Wales Warriors 38, Somerset Wyverns 0. Every single one of us picked this game correct as well, which, you know what? I'm kind of getting that's an expected win.
Yeah, you've won every game. South Wales Warriors, whereas Somerset have lost every game. Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm looking. I've got the league table up here again. Printed my notes.
Mateo, could you speak up a bit louder? Apparently,
Oh yeah,
hear
that's the
you.
first time. That's the first time someone's ever told me to speak up. Yeah, so Somerset haven't scored a single point all season. From the back of the table that I've got here, that's not good. Obviously, it's a bit of a mad one, but I genuinely think sometimes going down a division for teams is better than that because
Yeah,
then they can rebuild. Try and restructure. You look at Humber. We've just been talking about Humber. They were in Div 1 last year. I got to play against them. Cracking set of guys, by the way. But they've come down. They've rebuilt. They could come back up stronger. But yeah, it's not great. Conceded 151 in 4 games and scored 0.
yeah. It does beg to question what has happened in the off season. Has people either moved away or moved to another city because of work, or are people not caring for the team in this location? Because it is kind of bad from a Division 1 team to go down and not even no, they got promoted. Sorry, Somerset got promoted this year, so this is actually their first year. But at least put up some sort of. It doesn't look like there's a fight.
Yeah, if you'd know there's something was clicking because there'd be points scored. There's no points scored as of yet after 4 games. And as we were talking before about players leaving, if you're playing offense or if you're playing defense and you're constantly on the pitch and your offense aren't even scoring a point, you're just gonna fuck off.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, you are. I mean, my southern geography isn't particularly great, but what teams are near them, you know what it's like. But there's always players. You should come up to our team. Our project's great, but it's still halfway through the season. Not even halfway through the season. Plenty can change.
yeah, that's very true. Hopefully there'll be a great fight coming towards the end. Funny enough, the next game is in the same division, and I actually forgot to do our predictions for that. But luckily, our designer was quick on the ball and actually gave it to us, and all of us picked Apache for this game anyway. So it is Bristol Apache 24, Bournemouth Bobcats 22. Where did this come from? From the Bobcats, I'll be honest, if I'm gonna say that for sure, because the Bobcats haven't been great, but they've literally just scored half of their points in one game.
Yeah, but they've only played 3 games. Like, I know everyone, like, if you look at most leagues, people will now be going, well, they're going to go up, they're going to go playoffs, so on and so forth. A lot of it can be down to preseason games. Like, I've played for some teams that, they've had 1 preseason game. You can't find your feet in 1 preseason game. You need a few games to get yourself going and stuff like that. So, it could be that they're just finding the rhythm. They're finding certain plays aren't working, certain plays are working. Plays, again, they've only played a few games, compared to other divisions. Give them time on that one. I mean, South Wales Warriors have played 5, but
yeah, that's true.
Solo Crashers have played 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that division is gonna be a hard division out of the top 4. Somerset, I don't think they're really gonna put in much of a fight. I'm gonna be honest. So you obviously, who else in that division? You got Solid Crashers, who didn't play this week. Who's the only one that had a bit of rest and a bit of training time, because it's been 2 weeks since they've actually played a game. Obviously, after their field was trashed last week. So I get it. It's a bit difficult to just throw it all out straight away. But I would be intrigued to see how the Bournemouth play against South Wales. Well, I think they've played South Wales already, haven't they? I'll be interested to see how they play against Somerset. No, not Somerset. Solent, because they played Somerset already, South Wales, and they played Bristol. Obviously,
it's look, that league is. I mean, you'd like to think. Obviously, it's only halfway. Loads can change, but for me, looks like South Wales have got that league, and then it's who's going to go for second place. And there's plenty of competition there. That league's no way near done.
Yeah, it's not finished yet. It'll be an interesting run up. We've got what for about 3 months, about 2 months left in a sense, because we're finishing relegation and promotion matches are on August 31st. So the season actually will finish the first week of September, which is surprisingly interesting that they've actually done that this year. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I will never say that no team can make it. If there's a sliver of a chance that you can start winning games and go on a run, this is definitely the division and definitely the league to do it, apart from the Premiership. But we'll digress to that. We'll come to that in a bit. We got now in Central Division 1 Central, we have Portsmouth Dreadnoughts 6, Wembley Stallions 35. It's just the same old story. We all picked the Stallions to win this game.
Stallions' offense is on fucking fire. 241 points in 5 games. Even their defense has conceded only 24 points.
Yeah, they have the figures they have been building for such a long time. They've been building year upon year. It doesn't seem like they actually lose players. It just seems like they consistently gain player and player and player every single season. So it's actually really good what they've built there. Now the question is, can they get over that hurdle of getting to that final game of the season and actually win it? Because for the last 2 years that they've attempted, they've always fallen within that playoff run.
Yeah, but you're gonna learn. Every time you go to the playoffs, you're gonna learn. It's not a case of you just go to the playoffs and fail all the way through. But they look very, very good. It'll be interesting to see what goes on in that league. Again, it's another league where second place is still up for grabs. Every team in that division has won a game.
Yeah.
So it's still an interesting league.
And the funny thing is, the team that's in second, I had no thoughts that they would even be close or even have won 2 games, which is I am very shocked by that. I'm going to be honest, very, very shocked. Didn't see that coming for sure. But hey, good on them. Can they hold on to that second place and potentially fight to get promoted to the Prem? Oh, Jesus. Wow. Wow.
You'd be truly eating your words then. If they snip this clip, this is getting played in a WhatsApp chat right now. Right. Fucking hell.
Wow. Hey, there's been times when my voice, I've heard my voiceovers and I'm just like, oh, okay. I see where we're going with this. Cool. But Wembley Stallions, as expected, I'm not shocked by their win this week. And I think they are the front runners in the South to potentially get promoted this year.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree. I mean, look, every division we've talked about so far, there's still so much to play for. So yeah, no.
Yeah.
Interested to see how that one goes.
Yeah, and we move over to this the third conference in the South, where we have Essex Trident 6, London Olympians 20, another team that is currently undefeated in Division 1. It's a love-hate relationship with the Olympians, I'm going to be honest. It's a love-hate. It's a love-hate relationship. I played for them for many years. I've destroyed my body playing for them. Huh?
Yeah, love and hate them. You should love them, surely.
No.
Oh,
my body went through too much pain for no satisfaction. So no. It's a love-hate.
I mean, I'm looking at that. They are 4-0, but they've scored 54 points and conceded 27. We were talking about the Stallions who'd scored 241 and conceded 24.
Yeah.
So, I know they won 26, 20 scores to 6. But that's like pretty much nearly half of what they've done all season. So although they are 4-0, it doesn't sound like
Oh,
it'd be. Do you get what I mean?
yeah. No, so I just got some information.
Okay.
David has said that Olympians scored 2 pick-sixes, and the Trident's defense actually shut down the offense. So that makes the scoreline look a lot better in the Trident's in sort of the Trident defense to look, because
Yeah,
without those 2 pick-sixes, this game would have been what, 8-6 maybe.
yeah, that's crazy.
So, wow. So the Olympians aren't really as high powered as I. Well, they're not high. They're not a high powered offense anyway, but they're not technically going to run away with this division at all if they can't score more than that on
It's a, it's a,
offense.
it's a, it's a close division. It's still close. It's still a few wins from. I mean, look, if Essex Tridents have kept that as close as what you've just been made aware of, then who's to say that they can't take some momentum out of that and
Yeah,
a few wins either way.
it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And obviously,
You'd be happy then.
my pick for this division obviously is East Kent Mavericks to win the division. Even though they've lost to the Olympians already at the beginning of the season, I still feel that it is theirs to sort of throw away. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Kent, well, let's talk about Kent while we're at it. Kent played East Kent Mavericks, and this game ended 29-0 to East Kent Mavericks. I don't know what happened to Kent. They've fallen off for the last 3 games because their offense was doing really well for the last couple of games from what I saw, but the last 2 games itself was not great.
Yeah, they've only scored 24 points all season.
Yeah,
The last 2 games, 4-0.
I believe they got shut out in both. Let's see, hold up. Just need to put. Yeah, they got shut out against Colchester at home and shut out away to East Kent Mavericks away. So 2 games with a donut on the board isn't great.
Isn't ideal.
Yeah,
Not going to be building you full of confidence, is it really?
yeah.
So, yeah, that's.
But I say that they also only lost to the Olympians by 3 points. So
That division, that's
so it's what has gone on. I know that they lost one of their QBs at the beginning of the season, so I don't know how close that player is to being healthy. And then their backup QB got hurt, so he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. So it's just like, do they actually have someone that's going to be able to step in and just handle the little jobs that you need to do as a QB to just get your team to where it needs to be till your QB comes back?
Yeah. Again, this is why recruitment is so fucking important. I've been at clubs before, and there's not been much done on recruitment, and it drives me absolutely batshit crazy. You've got to treat your club as a business. Even though we all do this for fun and we all put far too much money into it and get far too injured, recruitment is so important. Whether it's your under 19s or stuff like that. Hopefully they have. But every league's interesting so far. There's no league where it's like that's that. Be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's here we go. XL's QB1 is back, but he got hurt in Buck season and is at 100%, if not okay. So he's still injured from playing at university level. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
Are any of us 100%?
You shouldn't be 100%, but I guess
I'm fucking not. I'm gonna rotate it off as body as anything.
I remember playing back-to-back seasons, and you literally have a space of 3 weeks before the senior season starts, so you don't even get time to rest, especially if you go deep into the playoffs. Like, I think he is the KCL QB. They went to the first round of the playoffs as well, so It's not deep, but it's still not enough time to recover and to go for another full season of adult ball where you're getting hit by adults instead of your same age group in a sense. So it's difficult, but hopefully we'll see a change in East Kents now that the QB1 is back. So let's see what happens. Also, we all picked Olympians to win that game, and we all picked Mavericks apart from Nana, who is obviously a coach at the Excels. So
you've got him. Yeah, this is gonna be awkward. But like, obviously, I've got to pick like the team that I play for, or the team I play for now.
Yeah,
I'm obviously gonna go for them.
I got to say, deeply disappointed by Tridents giving up those 2 pick sixes.
I'm sure they are too.
You will be. They are your only team that's rivaling you. So you gotta. That next matchup between East Kent and Olympians will be very interesting, and I might even travel down, depending on who else is playing that day. But we move up to the north. We got Midlands. We got Staffordshire Surge, 27. Shropshire Revolution, 0. Myself and Oz got this wrong. But Chris, Sean, Nada, and Mateo all got this right, which means that my record and Oz's record is looking even worse. I pray that we get to 500.
Absolute kudos to Staffordshire Surge. A few years ago, there was too much of a club team mentality at that club, and they've changed it all around. I've got quite a few mates who play for Surge, and they got, by the way, beautiful new kit, love it. But no, spot on. To be fair, this out of the Div 1 leagues, this one's probably one of the most interesting leagues. You've got the Steelers and Surge, who both came up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and there's quite a few teams who out of there could go down. But no, never in doubt with Surge. Shropshire just haven't been able to click this season. Again, bunch of great guys at the Revs. But it's going to be interesting. Again, we're not going to talk about the other fixture yet until you've announced it. But there's been some unpredictable results in that league.
In that division, I'm super annoyed because it was just one of those ones. You rag on a team. We don't expect much from the team. The Surge came back to back wins from last week, and they've gone on back to back wins, which now I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Which, you know what, is all best for the game. More teams getting better is a lot better. But the Surge, I didn't expect to shut out both. They shut out 2 teams actually. Hold up, they've had. No, they haven't. Sorry. They've obviously beat the Knights by 12 points. They beat the Knights by 15 points, give or take. And then they got a donut against Shropshire, who were actually the second behind Nottingham last year in the playoffs. So
yeah, correct. That's correct.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. But also another game that we all got wrong. That all of us got it wrong, but it's the scoreline that threw me. When I saw Northant Knights 0, Birmingham Bulls 39. Where did this come from?
Emotional damage. I tell you what. Have you ever been to the Birmingham pitch, by the way?
No, I have never been.
If they still play at the same place that they played at, it is the worst pitch I've ever played on in my life. There wasn't a single piece of grass. It was just mud. That being said, again, the team pushed into the corner. Obviously the new relegation scenario that could potentially happen.
Yeah,
the club's looking at that. Birmingham have well and truly said, we're not going down without a fight. And you're looking at that league. Is it going to be Birmingham? Is it going to be Shropshire Revolution? Could it be Northant Knights? It's very unpredictable. It's great to see. Birmingham. I followed the Great British Punter, or whatever his name is. There's a guy who's always putting up clips.
Yeah.
I think he's still at Birmingham. It's good to see. although we've been made to look like fools because every single one of us picked the Knights.
It's very true.
Yeah, good to see. It makes it a bit unpredictable.
Birmingham. So apparently Birmingham have moved from King Norton to Erdington now.
It can't be as bad as what it was.
So it's got to be probably most likely new spots and everything like that. So, wow. Okay. Who am I to say anything's wrong with that? Jeez. But Birmingham, you lot have made that division a lot more interesting now that you have dominated the trenches and our running back, Kwai Sheikh, is on fire. Nice.
He clearly was a 39-0. So, well done, Birmingham. Keep fighting, keep going. And
yeah. Hey, I'm here for it. Show us up, make us eat our words. We have no problems with that. But damn, no fan. What happened? 2 losses on the trot. What's going on? We thought that this was the year that Northam were going to push for playoffs, and we were very, very wrong this time round. But geez, but we do move to probably the exciting Division 1 comp division. Sheffield, and it is Sheffield Giants 12, Shropshire Alphas 48. Again, we all got this right because this was probably the most predictable outcome to go for. I said that, but I expected Knights to win and Saints to win, so can't really say how true that is. Anyway, but Alphas are just a team above them, and Yorkshire are a team above the rest in that division.
Yeah, that division is a bit of a mad one. It's sad to see Sheffield Giants fall from the grace so quickly. However, when I was at Chester Romans, they were like our bogey team. They literally played the worst football ever. Like wide receivers were just stood there. It was run down the middle every time. So maybe that's part, because it looks like they've had quite a lot of players leave. I was watching a bit of the footage from Chester Romans when they beat them twice. Great boys. And it looks like they've had a considerable amount of players leave. It's sad. But no, you're right. The Rams and the Alphas look absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Nighthawks are in there. They've had quite a lot of players from Manchester Titans go. But even then, that hasn't swayed it enough. So yeah, that's a really bit of a mad division. It doesn't look great for Sheffield, but obviously, again, Chester Romans, they've just got two decent wins, and there's some really good kick-ass fixtures coming up in that one.
Yeah, that division's always been fun. I think it was fun last year. But it was between them and the Midlands that just had me and Oz on edge because we didn't know where anything was going in it, and we just kept guessing, and just couldn't figure it out. But the last game for this weekend is in the Scottish division. It is Glasgow Tigers 49 and Rosendale Bucks 12. We all got this right, but this was again, as we have said prior, we have 2 affiliate teams in the Scottish division.
Fucking buffer.
So Rosendale having to play against really established teams. This is probably worse than a baptism of fire because you're not expected to win. You probably won't get dropped. I don't know, your Division 2 team as well, you basically are, and you are putting up a decent fight. You're putting up a better fight than some teams that have been around for a while.
Absolute kudos to Rosendale Bucks for picking up their big boy pants and going, fuck this, we'll have a go. We'll travel to Mordals, everyone in the games. Because Rosendale, it's not far from me. And they've got the right attitude. They're going on it the right way. I think they just announced a new sponsor. Well done on that. Sponsors aren't easy to get. They're going up there with good squad size numbers. That team's going to more than likely be potentially in the division I'm playing at the moment next season. So Bucks, fucking good on you. Keep going. Obviously, we, as you said, they put up a fight, a respectable fight. But I actually love what Bucks are trying to achieve. And Baffert have made it, them go through a proper test to be a team. Maybe Baffert have been guilty of not doing that with other teams in the past, and that's why you see so many teams fold. So, absolutely kudos to Bucks. It is mental that they've got to go all the way up to Scotland, but
it is crazy. But that is the end of the week 7 games. And as the score stands, Chris, Sean have both got 10 out of 13 correct. Nana next with 9 out of 13 correct. Oh, sorry. Nana and Mateo with 9 out of 13 correct. And myself and Oz at 8 out of 13 correct.
I'll beat you. I'm happy with that.
With all these weird matchups in this week, obviously, I believe this week was potentially GB weekend or something happened that no Premiership games were being played. But we move on to week 9, and within week 9, we have 16 games to be played. Now, before we get into our predictions and who we decide to pick, I just wanted to say there was obviously a very upsetting news that came out from the East Kent Exiles camp that a player had passed away this week. Just wanted to say condolences to the family and hope that everything and everyone, obviously, that's related to him is okay. And there's been a nice tribute. So, yeah.
Very, very, very sad to see. When you join any team, it's like a little family that you get. I've got mates from teams I played with years ago, and sending love to absolutely everyone around that.
Now on to week 9. Well, week 8, 9 predictions. Wait, is it week 8 or week 9?
Week 9, mate. We're on week 9.
Week 9. I had the wrong number up there. That's why. So we're up to week 9 predictions, and we have 16 games being played this week. So there's a chance for someone to go 16 and not 16 and 16, or 0 and 16. So everyone else will get their picks in. You'll obviously see the graphics later on in the week, but me and Mateo are going to go through it right now. So this should be fun. So
here we go. Notes typed up. Ready.
I know you got yourself ready. So we're going through from Division 2. We have Division 2 West, Plymouth Vanguard versus Hereford Stampede.
Do we go first, or you? Or how are we doing it?
I'm going to go first. Both teams are coming off of a loss. Yes. But Plymouth haven't scored. If I'm correct, Plymouth haven't scored in their last 2 games. Hereford have scored. They just haven't scored enough. I'm going with the Stampede this week.
Oz isn't going to like you, mate. He's not going to like you. However, I'm going to go for Plymouth Vanguard. And the reason for that, with the stats, Plymouth have conceded far less. So for me, that one might be a battle of defense. Defense wins games. So I'm going to go for Plymouth.
Okay. But is it because Plymouth haven't played Stampede yet, or anyone of significance? That's why they haven't conceded as much. It is obviously a catch-22. You don't know which way to go through because you can't watch the games ourselves. Next up, we have in Division 2 East, we got Ouse Valley Eagles versus Ipswich Cardinals. Here we go again, and you can go first this time.
I've gone for the Eagles on this one. For me, it's a very close game. It's again, that's in all these leagues are still very, very close. But yeah, I don't really know much about either of the teams. I wish it did. But looking on score, how many both teams have conceded and scored, that's what my pick's based on this week. 16-0. Let's have it.
Okay. The last time these 2 teams played, Cardinals took it away, 30-8. And it seems like that's all Ouse Valley can do against them the last couple of times they've played. But the Cardinals do have to travel to Ouse Valley.
Correct.
And the Cardinals at the moment have been up and down with their wins recently. So it's very tricky. But I'm going to not join you. I am going to back the Cardinals for this one.
Nice surprise.
I think this week will be, again, another games that we are not expecting to turn out how they expect to turn out. Ouse Valley probably will sneak it, but it is what it is. Let's go. We have Division 2 in the Midlands. We have Leicester Panthers versus Lincolnshire Bombers. Now, I betted against them the last couple of weeks when they've played. I don't think I could do it again. I'm going with the Panthers to win this game.
Yeah, we played the Panthers. The Panthers absolutely spanked us. Kudos to Dean and everyone at the Panthers. They're running a solid tight ship there. The Panthers were better than any team I played in Div 1 last year. They were just absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go for the Panthers myself. With me, the Bombers, great bunch of guys, but they're on a bit of a rebuild. It might take a season or two. They got a very good win against the league.
Yeah.
So that'll certainly boost that confidence. But I think Leicester on this one.
Lovely. Next up, we are going up to Division 2 North. We've got Wakefield District Raiders versus Gateshead Senators. Who are you rolling with?
This is a very, very, very fucking close game. This is going to be I think this will be a belter of a game. I've gone for Wakefield District Raiders, home field advantage, second versus third, I believe. I've got that many questions to be, but yeah, second versus third. They both played three. Won two and lost one. So that's the reason for mine.
Okay. No complaints with that. So you've got Raiders, and we are splitting this one again. I just feel that the Senators have a much better firepower on offense, and from what it looks like, I don't think the Raiders in 3 games they've just about outscored their opponents. They've just about outscored them by 2 points. So I don't know. Gateshead have done it. They've already broken the 100-point barrier. But I'm going with the Senators for this game because I just believe that they have the extra juice that the Raiders don't. What if I'm going to get tagged this week?
What about you? What about me? This time doing it, I'm just going to be getting tagged.
Next, we're moving up to Division 1. In Division 1 West, we have a matchup that will probably help us know who will potentially finish second. We've got Bristol Apache versus Solent Thrashers.
You can go first.
Oh, I'm sticking with my boys at the Thrashers.
Okay.
I think they have the right outfit. Yes, they got to travel to Bristol, but I sort of believe in Dave Gibbs, the new head coach, and he has brought in some decent players that have played at the Premiership for consistent years. So I expect the Thrashers to get this win.
Mate, I've gone for the same. I've gone for the Thrashers too. They've only played 2 games. Obviously, conceded 38, scored 65. You compare that to Bristol. So yeah, Thrashers for me, mate.
Cool.
Great.
We go up to the Division 1 Central. Now, the first game we're talking about is the team that I'm not gonna lie, I'm very shocked of. It is Sussex Thunder versus London Blitz B. Hell, this is all you first.
Listen, dead easy for me, this one. London Blitz B's defense hasn't been great.
Oh,
Even 115 points in 4 games. So for me, I'm going for the Thunder.
oh, okay. Thunder it is. I. It's not even a homer. I just think that the Blitz, they shocked us when they beat the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. That was a very huge shock. But then they went and lost to the Stallions, which is expected. It's not like anyone expected that win. But they are putting up points. I'm going with Blitz B this week.
You okay?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. 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 We should have a bet here. We should have a bet because quite a lot of these, me and you are either going to do really well or dreadful.
Very bad. Yep. Yeah. Next up in that same division, as a 12 p.m. kickoff, which wild. We have Portsmouth Dreadnoughts versus Berkshire Renegades. This one's kind of easy for me. Berkshire are a good team, but I think the Dreadnoughts been a solid Division 1 team for many, many years. I'm giving it to the Dreadnoughts for me.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Renegades offense has scored 19 points in 4 games.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I am going for the same on that one, buddy.
Perfect. Damn, Division 1. I forgot how many teams are in Division 1. Jesus. Division 1 East. We're gonna start off with the London Olympians versus Colchester Gladiators. Again, it's a love-hate relationship. It is what it is.
How hurt are you?
I don't play anymore. That's how hurt I am, to be fair. London Olympians look good. Defensively, they're always strong on the defensive side. They always get them gritty players that are great. But Colchester doing that shot to Exiles, even though they didn't have a QB, kind of throws it into a loop. But this is at home, and I'm going to give it to Olympians to win this game.
Yeah, I am going to agree with you, even though the pain is hurting you. Yeah, it's quite an easy decision, that one before, they're looking pretty good, as you said, even though it hurts you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Right. Next up, this should be a very interesting game. In the same division.
This is a relegation game. This is a potential relegation game.
Yeah. It is potential one of the teams that will be playing in that relegation promotion match. It is Kent Exiles versus Essex Tridents. Now, for me, the little bit of information that we just received that QB1 is back kind of does change a lot of, the way that I think about this game now. Essex Tridents, it's a great achievement. You are 2 teams that joined together to obviously get better, and obviously you have, because you've been promoted. But QB1 is back. It's going to be a tight game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowaway, but it'll probably be a tight game, maybe a field goal, maybe 2 point, maybe a safety. But I'm giving this to Kent Exiles this week.
Yeah, I've got it down as a relegation game. I'm going to be going for Kent Exiles. As you mentioned, they've gone from Div 2 to Div 1. I don't think in some leagues that jump is quite insane. Not in all leagues, in some leagues. So yeah, I'm going for Kent Exiles. But that, even though they're both at the bottom of that league. That's got all the eyes for a very, very good fucking game. So,
Yeah.
get to it, boys. Get the job done.
And then we're moving up to the Midlands now. We're going up to Division 1 in the North. We have Northant Knights versus Sandwell Steelers. I can't ride. I can't do this journey anymore. I can't. And do you know what's going to happen?
What?
I'm going to pick the Steelers, and then somehow Northant Knights are just going to come out of nowhere and win the game. And it's just going to be one of those ones where I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to be like, well, I guess you just don't want me to pick you lot. I guess you just don't want anyone thinking that you lot are good. So I'm going with the Steelers this week. The Steelers also do look like the best team in one of the best teams in that division. So I have to Steelers.
One of my very good friends is a coach at Steelers, Ben. I've got a few good mates there, Denzel. Steelers all day. I'm right in saying the Steelers got relegated from the Prem and then straight away got relegated from Div 1. I'm right in saying that. They've done a massive rebuild there. So fucking brilliant. Again, that's a really, really. I know you were talking about the division with Chester and that being a great division. I think this division is really entertaining. But yeah, I'm picking the Steelers. They will have learned a lot from that mad tie. How the fuck that happened. So yeah, Steelers for a win. Knights maybe on a rebuild.
Yeah. And then we move up to Division 1 North.
Ooh, tasty.
To be fair, this is probably the easiest one I've ever thought of. I don't even have to think. We have Yorkshire Rams versus Merseyside Nighthawks. All right, Matteo, what is your thoughts on this game then?
So, Yorkshire Rams are a very good team. I think he beat them already. I might be wrong. I don't know. But Merseyside have recruited very, very well. Still recruiting. He just announced I can't remember his name, Danny, from the Titans. Danny's one of the best ends I've ever played against. He's fantastic. So they're still recruiting. Obviously there's a rebuild going on. And it's all that league. I think everyone's writing Chester off. Chester come back with 2 very good wins against Sheffield. It's only halfway through the point of that season. Rams have won 5. They've only conceded 41. They scored 148. Nighthawks didn't have the best game against Alphas. It was close and then for a bit and then went a bit crazy. I do think the Rams will win, but I don't think it's going to be as convincing as we're portraying. I think Nighthawks are still very much finding themselves. A lot of players have come in quite late to the season, whereas Rams, they've been a solid outfit all throughout the season. Last season, they were fantastic. But I'm going for Rams, but I think Nighthawks done a really good rebuild. Fucking good luck to them. The social media as well is absolutely spot on. And that's obviously a big thing that's needed. But I do think Rams will win, but I don't think it'll be what everyone's thinking. It's going to be like a fucking whitewash or something. So get to it, boys. Good luck, Nighthawks.
I have the Rams as well. I think they are probably going to be the team that gets promoted. I think they are ready for that jump. 5 games, yes, they've only scored 148. Whereas Scunthorpe in the same division have scored 170. But the difference is the defense on the Rams just look that much better.
Yeah,
they've only conceded 41 points, and I don't. They may concede something this weekend, but I don't think it'll be enough for the deficit to make a difference between the Alphas conceded. So the Rams will win this game, in my eyes. And then we move up to Scotland. Before we hit the Premiership games, we have Everclyde Goliaths versus Clyde Valley Blackhawks.
Everclyde Goliaths gives me PTSD. I swear to God. We went up there when we played them in the playoffs. We left at 1 o'clock in the morning, won, and got back at 1 o'clock in the morning. I picked Inverclyde for this one for me. They're a great bunch of people, by the way. Absolutely great guys. But he played 2, lost 2, scored 121, conceded 113.
Yeah.
Whereas Clyde Valley have played 4, lost 3, conceded 111, scored 32. That's the reason for my picks.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I agree with you. I'm going with Goliath as well. The issue is the Scottish League is just so unpredictable. I never know what's going to happen, and then somehow Black Hawks are probably going to pull the win out of the bag this weekend. But I'm taking Goliaths, so either way, doesn't make much difference to what I select. Now we have 4 more games left, and they are 2 in the Premiership South and 2 in the Premiership North. So, in the first game in the South, we have Rushmore Knights versus London Blitz at the Knights.
You go first here.
The only team to have conceded only 20 points this season so far, after 3-4 games. They have actually scored the second highest in the Premiership South as well. I'm taking London Blitz. I feel like the team have a really good setup now with the new head coach, with the new coaching staff, and new players that they've brought in. They are still a young team, but I think they will have enough to get past Rushmore. So I'm going with Blitz.
Again, looking at the league, until I make my guesses off the league table, I'll be going for London Blitz too. Bit of an interesting one, the Prem South. But yeah, London Blitz looking very solid this season. You'll know more about it than me. But as you mentioned, it's a youthful team, so if the setup's right, if the dream's right, they'll stay there for a long time. They'll just get better and better. So I'm going to go London Blitz.
Yeah. Now the next game in this division is the relegation match. This is between the 2 teams that are going to get relegated. Be in the relegation promotion fight. It's not to get relegated. Yeah, only one. So in this division, this game is Hertfordshire Cheetahs versus Cambridgeshire Cats.
I've gone for the Cheetahs.
Why?
Look, getting in the Prem is a great achievement. One of these is going to go down. They're both not great this season. They'll, to their standards, they'll have a standard where they want to be. They're not at where they want to be. This is a great game for both teams to get a win, potentially get a win, and build some momentum and try and claw back some pride into that season. We won't be happy with the recent results. So I'm going for the Cheetahs on this one.
I agree with you. I'm going with the Cheetahs, mainly because I don't think Cambridgeshire Cats have enough players.
That bad.
Watching them against when they played Blitz, I think they had just about 35, maybe. And then they lost the lineman mid-game as well. So you had a defensive lineman potentially playing both ways. There's a lot that doesn't seem very great at the moment. They've only scored 6 points, but they've conceded 181. Cheetahs, with the inconsistency on offense, they've managed to score 16 at least. The game is being played at Hearts. The game is being played at Hearts University, not at Sunsport. If anyone does want to go watch that game, but yeah, I'm going with the.
I love a good promotional pin there. Come watch the game. Yes, that's how you do
it. But this game it'll be interesting. At this moment, I know it's early in the season, but it is sort of they have the saving grace of the relegation promotion match. I've been saying this all season. Every team that's in this situation, yes, you are going to potentially play that game, but you have that little saving grace that you will get a month to potentially work shit out, get shit working properly, and then go into that final game of the season with the fight and the pride that you want to stay in keep your position in the Premiership.
I know we've not spoken about it much, but after we've gone over these results, just a quick one on these playoffs, because we'll go into it in a bit, but I'll let you finish your pick. We'll have a quick one on
that. So yeah, that's cheaters for me. Then we're going to go into the Premiership North, and then we can have a quick discussion on the relegation promotion match. Next up, we have Coventry Phoenix versus Newcastle Vikings. Is this division sort of very, very, very open?
I think it's fucking brilliant that this Premiership North is a lot more open than just the Titans. Obviously, Titans are around the corner from me. I thought Vikings would have done a lot better because they were really good last year. They were fucking brilliant. Coventry Phoenix, absolute kudos because they beat the Titans. Again, a Titans team that's kind of rebuilding. They've had a lot of players leave. They're bringing players through the ranks. To me, I've gone for Coventry Phoenix on this one. Vikings, I don't know if players are left. I don't know what's happened in the background there. But the saving grace would be if they did get rid of that thing is I think you'd beat a Div 1 team, depending on who they're playing. But for me, no, Phoenix, I've gone for Phoenix. I think they're very much got a good chance of going very far this season. I can't remember the coach's name, but I've got one of the coaches on social media. So yeah, Phoenix for me.
Okay. I'm inclined to agree with you as well. Phoenix didn't have a terrible end to last season either. As bad as the season that they had, they sort of started to wake up towards the end of the season, making that final game of the year very tight. And again, they started off the season. They had the Titans start the season with a loss, so that is obviously a great thing for them. And it's head to head. Only downside is that the Titans have played 3 games and only conceded 16, whereas Phoenix have conceded 35, scored 42, but the Vikings defense has let in a lot of points.
Yeah, which is mad because they're usually fucking brilliant.
Yeah. But I'm going with the Phoenix as well. It's a home game as well. I know home field advantage doesn't technically mean much in Britball at the moment.
Isn't it?
It is nice to have not waking up early. Yeah, it is nice to have not being able to have to drive or travel on coach to anywhere. So it is that little extra incentive, but that's what that one is. And then the final game of the season of this week is a 12 p.m. kickoff between Nottingham Caesars versus Manchester Titans. Now, I was going to drive to this game, to be fair, that on the weekend. But things have changed, and that is not the case anymore. So I will be watching this on stream. Obviously, Nottingham Caesars do stream all their games. Cheetahs and Cats being live streamed by Sport Tank as well. Thank you, Russ, for the update. Didn't really get that memo from the big man, but I didn't look at the graphics either, so that's probably on me as well. Now, when the season started, in my head, this is what I was expecting. This was going to be the game that will tell us who will finish first, who will finish second, and neither one of them are first or second.
Shock horror.
So it's a tough one. Nottingham Caesars seem to have found their boots. They're playing their legs in this division. In the Premiership now, they know it's not as easy as probably Division 1 was for them last year.
Isn't HC from Caesars the GB coach?
Yes, he is the tight end coach. Yes.
Yeah. So I know they've got quite a lot of GB players. I don't know what thinking to do it. Look, Titans for me, defense look very solid. Offense is quite a bit of a rebuild going there. I know a few Romans lads who went over there. Fucking brilliant players, by the way.
Oh.
I I've gone for Titans on this one. That jump from Div 1 to Prem is big, but I think Titans with every game are getting bigger and better and stronger.
Yeah,
that's my reason I'm going for Titans.
Okay. I'm inclined to agree. Caesars are looking good, but I need to see something more. Titans in 3 games have scored 109 points.
Fucking insane.
It's crazy because this division is probably the best in the Prem. Well, is the best in the Premiership because we know who's probably going to walk away with the South, which will be the London Warriors. Then the question is how many points are they going to score? Who knows? And how many points are they going to concede? Because there's always that freak. It's always that freak accident, that freak score line that we always see from a Warriors game where somehow the opposition team scored 6 points, and you're just like, where did this come from? So there's always that little bit that happens, and Titans are currently have only conceded 16 points, and 8 of them were against Coventry, and the rest, the other 7 was I can't remember who the other 7 was against.
But what you've also got to get from that is how many points did you say Titans have scored? 100 plus points, yeah.
They've scored 109 in 3 games.
He played 3 games, so didn't he score 6 points in the game against Phoenix?
Yeah, so that means in the next 2 games they went on a rampage. Yeah, in a rampage, they scored 103 points in 2 games.
I will definitely be looking forward to that Titans and Phoenix rematch. I think that'll be a fucking part of the game.
Yeah. I'm going Titans this week. As much as it does hurt, I expected extra, but I just want to see a bit more from the Caesars potentially this week, see how this matchup between the Titans goes. And it should be fun. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the predictions of week 9. Those are in the books, and you'll see the rest of the predictions from Oz, Chris, Sean, Nana, and Hatch later on in the week. But Mateo, what is it? What about the promotion relegation match is that you?
I think it's like, look, I don't like it. The whole, I think Div 2 teams should do the playoffs like it was. It's not disrespecting Div 2, but to shorten it like that, I don't think it's fair. But you're also getting. I play for the Lancashire. I play for the Buccaneers. We're kind of like looking ahead, because as it stands, I think we play Humber. I think Leicester would play who's second, and then I might be wrong in this. By all means, fucking rinse me. However you want to think about it. If we were to beat Humber, or Humber was to beat us, then you're playing, as it stands, Sheffield, and as it stands for Leicester, they would be playing Birmingham. But that might flip and twist. I like that aspect of it. I think that bit, but I don't know how to Div 1 part of the way. So I don't look at my own grass. But I think it's all a bit fucking mental. It's all crazy.
Yeah. So, from what I've gathered, obviously the playoffs will still run up until so instead of the usual final game of the South being the promotion match between the 2 teams who's going to go straight up, it's now changed that you'll play your 3 playoff matches.
We don't. Div 2 don't.
Yeah, Div 2 won't. Div 1 will play their 3 playoff matches. So no, sorry, I think it might be 4. I think it might be around. If I'm thinking, if it's just like how the uni one set up, because for some reason Uni Div 1 has a round of 16, then a quarterfinals, then a semi-finals, and then a finals. Because for some reason, because there's 3 divisions, there's more teams. So if that's how it goes across, that means they're going to play 4 games. They're going to play that playoff game against the division, whoever gets to the final in division in the South. Then instead of playing for the title, you're now going to be playing potentially Cheetahs or Cats to get promoted to the South. I don't know what that is. Let's just say that can be ignored. You are going to be put on timeout. Bye bye. I don't know. I don't actually know.
That guy needs Jesus, Luke Skywalker, and everyone. What the hell is he doing? Oh my god. So I that's mental because is that 5 extra games including the relegation? Some teams are playing 10 games, 10 to 15 games. It's them injuries you're going to get in that game, and if you're let's just say the Chiefs are getting that relegation battle, they don't have to play 5 more games. Just like you said, that
they get a month off. They get that month off to work on everything to make sure they're ready for it. Now, and the thing is, it could work either way. Maybe the not playing an actual game gives you the rust, so you start slow, or playing those extra games, make sure that you got everything in that you needed, tidied up. Everyone knows exactly. You can have audibles in consistently, ready to go. But as you said, injuries, people going on holiday, people
holiday time, isn't it? Really, yeah.
Like if you don't expect your team to be there and then you suddenly make it there, it's like crap. I'm on holiday. Good luck, guys. Bye.
I've already cancelled enough holidays. I work Sundays, so I have to book holidays off for my games. My wife's about one more holiday request away from booting me out the house.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of games to play. But it'll be interesting to see what goes on. It's going to be a very interesting season. By all means, it's clearly not over for pretty much every team.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to going 16-0 this week.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Let's see, mate. Let's see.
I can guarantee you there's going to be at least 4 teams that will let us down. Even though we have split. We have split like mad this week.
As long as I beat you, mate, I'll be sound.
Right, I guess I'll be going to some games and getting in the way. Go, let's do it. Nah, but no, week 9, ladies and gentlemen, is over. Well, it's just beginning. The prediction and review of week 8 to week 9 is officially over, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say what the fuck am I saying? I want to say fantastic. Jesus Christ, I'm having a tongue.
Luke Skywalker now, I'm Jesus, mate. What's going on?
Wow. Anyway, thank you, Mateo. There we go. There we go. I want to say thank you to Mateo for joining me today. In replacement of my absent former co-host, who is in his last run with the rundown. Is coming to his final season. But it's been a great talking to you, Mateo, about this week. And your insights to some games and your predictions are very interesting. I now understand why you pick the way you pick. And I'm very intrigued to see who is going to get the better out of both of us. Obviously, me. That's how it goes.
Not happening, mate. Not happening. I'm gonna video call you drunk on Sunday celebrating with a Jaeger bomb like that.
Oh, you can. I'll be too busy editing pictures, so as much as you want. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing us to take up an hour and 13 of your time. My name is Micah. This is where you say your name.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is Mateo. Sorry. This is Micah. This is Mateo. Thank you very much.
That has been the rundown.